I never imagined it would be like this. That at 72 years old, after dedicating my entire life to my children, I would be here, alone in this silent room, hearing only the sound of the clock on the wall and the rain hitting the window. My name is Dorothy Williams, and I need to tell this story while I still have the strength, while my mind still allows me to remember everything. It was 6 months ago that I received the diagnosis. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS as the doctors call it, those 3 letters that changed everything. Dr. Patterson explained it to me calmly, trying to be gentle, but the words were clear. There's no cure. My muscles will progressively weaken until I can no longer move, swallow, or breathe. I listened to it all in silence, sitting in that cold chair in his office, gripping my purse tightly. When I left, I called my 3 children. Michael, the oldest, was in a meeting. Sarah said she'd call me back later. And James, my youngest, just sent a text saying he was traveling for work. In that moment, I still had hope. I thought that when they knew how serious it was, they would come. They would always come, wouldn't they? After all, I was the one who took care of them when they had chicken pox, when they fell off their bikes, when they cried over heartbreaks in their teenage years. I raised all 3 alone after my husband, Robert, left us when James was only 5 years old. I worked double shifts as a nurse at St. Mary Hospital for 28 years to give them a decent life. I paid for all 3 of their college educations, even though it meant having nothing saved for my own retirement. When Michael married Elizabeth, I gave them all the money I had saved to help with the down payment on their house. Sarah needed help when she got divorced, and I was there. James wanted to start his own business, and I used what was left of my savings to help him. I never regretted it. A mother doesn't regret loving her children. I scheduled a dinner at my house to tell them about the illness in person. I cleaned everything, cooked the roast they always loved, made the apple pie that was a tradition at our family gatherings. The table was set for 4 people, but only Sarah showed up, and she arrived 2 hours late. Sarah barely looked at me when she came in. She was on her phone, complaining about the traffic in Seattle. She didn't even notice that the food was cold. I served the plates anyway, trying to stay calm, trying to find the right moment to talk. When I finally told her, she stopped eating. She stared at me for a few seconds that felt like an eternity. Then she simply said it was terrible, that she was so sorry, but that she was going through a complicated time at work. She had just been promoted to regional manager and couldn't slip up now. She promised she'd come visit when things calmed down. She left half an hour later, taking a piece of pie wrapped in aluminum foil. I sat there, looking at that table full of food that no one ate, and for the first time since the diagnosis, I cried. I cried a lot. Michael returned my call 3 days later. I explained about the illness, about the prognosis, about the fact that I would need help soon. He was silent for a long time. Then he said that Elizabeth was pregnant with their 3rd child, that they were building a new house, that things were financially tight. He couldn't take on more responsibilities right now. He suggested I look into a nursing home, said there were some good ones in the area. As if it were that simple. As if 72 years of life could be reduced to a room in an institution. James was the most direct. He said I always gave more attention to his siblings, that he grew up feeling like he was never enough for me. That now he had his own life, his own family, and he couldn't drop everything to take care of a mother who, according to him, never really saw him. That hurt more than any symptom of the disease. Was I really such a bad mother? Did I work so hard to give them a better life that I forgot to be present? I spent nights awake thinking about it, going through memories, trying to understand where I went wrong. The first symptoms started slowly. A weakness in my hands that made me drop things, difficulty opening jars. Then my legs started to fail. I tripped on the sidewalk and fractured my wrist. I spent 2 days in the hospital. None of them came to visit me. My neighbor, Mrs. Chen, a 75-year-old Korean woman who barely knew my story, was the one who picked me up from the hospital. She insisted on staying with me during the first week. She cooked hot soups, helped me bathe, talked to me about her own life, about her children who lived far away but called every day. I felt ashamed. Ashamed to need help from a stranger while my own children went on with their lives as if I didn't exist. I tried calling them again. Michael said he was too busy with the baby's arrival. Sarah promised to visit over the weekend, but canceled at the last minute because she had an important company event. James didn't even answer. He blocked my number. I discovered this when the call went straight to voicemail repeatedly. My own son blocked me. How does a person block their own mother? The disease progressed faster than Dr. Patterson expected. Within 4 months, I could no longer climb stairs. I had to move to the bedroom on the first floor, the one that was James's when he was a child. The walls still have the superhero stickers he put up when he was 8 years old. I look at those drawings and wonder when that boy who dreamed of flying turned into someone capable of abandoning me. I hired a caregiver, Linda, a Caribbean woman in her 40s with a warm smile and gentle hands. She comes 3 times a week. She's the one who helps me bathe now, who prepares my meals, who helps me get dressed. Things I expected my children to do. Not out of obligation, but out of love. Maybe I was naive. On the eve of Thanksgiving, I received 3 messages. Michael sent a photo of the turkey Elizabeth prepared with the caption, "Family Gathered." Sarah posted photos of a trip to Cancun with friends. James posted a photo smiling with his wife and 2 young children, wishing everyone a happy Thanksgiving. I spent the holiday with Mrs. Chen, who brought a dish of kimchi and rice. The 2 of us, 2 old women abandoned by those we should be able to count on, ate together in silence. And for the first time, I realized that family isn't always who shares your blood. Sometimes, family is who shows up when everyone else leaves. This morning, I received a call from an unknown number. It was Michael's lawyer. He wanted to know about my house, about assets, about a will. He didn't even ask how I was doing, just practical matters, numbers, papers. I hung up before he finished talking. My house, this house where I raised 3 children, where I hung drawings on the refrigerator, where I put Band-Aids on scraped knees, where I taught recipes and values, is now just a real estate asset to them. I look around and see the photographs on the walls. Michael at graduation, proud in the suit I saved for months to buy. Sarah on her wedding day, wearing my veil, the same one I wore when I married Robert. James when he won his first baseball trophy with that huge smile that lit up any room. Where are those people? When did love turn into indifference? The truth is, I don't know how much time I have left. The disease is advancing. My voice is already weaker. Soon, I won't be able to speak anymore. Then I won't be able to swallow. And then, I'll simply stop breathing. And when that day comes, who will be by my side? It won't be my children. It will be Linda, with her gentle hands. It will be Mrs. Chen, with her soups and her stories. It will be Dr. Patterson, fulfilling his professional duty. But it won't be Michael, Sarah, or James. I changed my will last week. The house will be sold, and the money will be divided between Linda, Mrs. Chen, and 3 charities that help abandoned elderly people. Because I discovered there are many like me. Many Dorothys out there who gave everything they had and were left with nothing when they needed it most. My children will each receive a letter. It's not a letter of anger or resentment. It's a letter of farewell and forgiveness. Because I learned that holding on to bitterness only poisons the one who carries it. I forgave them. Not for what they did for me, but for what they did to themselves. They'll have to live with these choices. And when they're old, when their own children perhaps do the same to them, they'll understand. They'll understand too late, but they'll understand. Yesterday, I managed to take a few steps to the garden. Linda helped me. I sat on the bench where I used to watch my children play. I felt the sun on my face. And in that moment, I allowed myself to feel gratitude. Gratitude for the life I lived, for the good moments I had, for the people who genuinely cared. This is my story, a story of unconditional love that wasn't reciprocated, but also a story of dignity, of finding strength when everything seemed lost, of discovering that sometimes the family we choose is worth more than the family that chose us. If you're listening to me and have elderly parents, call them, visit them. Don't wait until it's too late, because one day you'll wake up and they won't be here anymore, and you'll carry that weight for the rest of your life. I forgave my children, but they will never forgive themselves for not having had the chance to say goodbye.